Hey, thanks for coming in. Oh my goodness, we got a bunch of people coming in. Hey there, great Canadian. Got some heads I got to pour this morning. Okay. These are 1/64 ounce that I'm doing here. I got to do about 50 of these. We had an order come in for unpainted jig heads, so I got to get these dudes out. I thought I had some of these already poured, but apparently not. Welcome in. Oh, cool. Found my new least favorite fly to tie. Well, don't tie it if it's not your favorite. Welcome in, guys. I hope everybody's doing fine. These are number 8 hooks and they're eagle claws. Today I'm going to be switching out my other pot that's in the background. I've already heated it up and emptied it out into this pot. That's the pot I was showing off last night. So here's what these little dudes look like. Pretty cool little heads. These will catch fish. Like down to the lake. Oh, that's cool. It's been years since I've biked down to the lake. No, growing up, we used to live pretty close to the Guadalupe River. I would ride my bike there and go fishing all the time. I haven't been on a bicycle in a long time, or a bike. These again are 1/64 ounce. 2, 4, 5. So each of these are 10. Welcome in, guys. These are 1/64th ounce with a number 8 hook. Really, really small. I think I'm gonna head out. Well, I'll catch you later. Thank you so much. You have a good day too, brother. Welcome in, guys. These are 1/64th ounce. These are the number 8 eagle claw hook. They're a lot smaller than the number 8 mustad hook. They are Aberdeen hooks. We do sell these on the website, and somebody purchased some last night, I believe, or this morning, and realized I didn't have any here in stock. Hey, Wayman. Is it Wayman? It is Wayman. Boring day for me. Didn't get to go fishing. LOL. Well, maybe you're supposed to do something else today, Wayman. Maybe you're supposed to do something else. It's 30 there. Again, these are 1/64th ounce. It's chilly this morning. It's not as cold as it's going to be tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning is going to be freezing cold. I was surprised the shop wasn't that cold this morning. I gotta pour a bunch more heads. I thought I had the ones with swivels already complete, but no, I gotta do a lot more. This was the second mold I ever bought. This here's a 1/64 ounce. This mold here is pretty much 14 and a half years old. Hey, welcome in, guys. Computer desk. Covered in light tying stuff, yeah. Okay, we got 40 of these poured up. That's what that looks like right there. Ooh, I've got to pour some more, don't I? That one didn't pour out. Okay, now we got 40. I just need 10 more. These again are number 8 hooks. That's how little that hook is. We got 15 likes, so I'm going to be here pouring. I got to sleep last night, which is good for this morning. I hadn't skipped church this morning. We've been in 2 weeks. We'll be back in. We'll be back next week. there. Go ahead and break these off. We're also going to clean them too, because I got to bag these up right away. There we go. Somebody's going to tie some jigs with those, or put some plastics on them or something. Yeah, that's what that looks like right there. This is how I clean my heads here, so these hooks here are small though. Another one right there. So I'll be pouring here some more in a little bit. Not this size, but some other sizes. That's what that is. Right there. Teeny tiny, teeny tiny. So we do sell these in bags of, I think we sell them in bags 25 and bags of 50. Here we go. I think the chat froze up. Let's see if the chat froze up. I hate that part of jig making. Yeah, it is. I don't like it either. It has to be done though. That's the part, especially on these little bitty ones. And my very first jigs I started making years ago were the 80ths and 64th ounce. And I would use a number 10 hook for the 1/80ths, and then a number 8 hook like these way back then. I thought to go ahead and get this done now on the live stream, that way get it over with and get these bagged up and in the box. Yeah, these are super small. I got to do some 16th ounce later, some 8th ounce. I was pouring heads last night. It was getting kind of late. I didn't want to be working super late last night. I thought we got the majority of the big orders out. I still got one order I'm working on, and so today I'm still going to pour some heads for that order. I want to make sure I got enough heads. I thought I had enough, but then I was like, I can't believe I miscalculated that. But we're working on an order that's going out to Florida, to Gerard's Bait and Tackle. And we got a couple of weeks to get it done. We had people telling us they can't believe I get what on the orders that I worked on, which were 5 tackle store orders that we got shipped out already. It was like 15,000 jigs I had to make. Did that within a month. I did some stuff there that I haven't done in a long time. But normally we give about 3 weeks to get a brand new order out to a tackle store for each. This time we had 5 tackle stores, and I had basically a month to work on them. So the thing to worry about or watch out for when you're doing heads this small is that if there's a gap, like right there, and I'm talking to the new people that are into making baits. Sometimes you'll have a little gap that's right there that it just doesn't connect, and that's one of the things to look for if you're new to pouring jig heads, especially on the 1/80ths and 64th ounce. And so that's one of the things I watch out for, because if I'm tying jigs, sometimes the head will stay on there, but if you're like me and you tie a really tight jig, if you got a little gap there, it means that the hook wasn't encapsulated by the lead, and you put more pressure on it, that head's going to pop off. So those are little things to watch out for when you're brand new into making lure heads. Hey, welcome in, guys. Yeah, 1/64th on a number 8 hook. Yep. And this is an eagle claw hook. The number 8s on a mustad are a lot bigger than the eagle claw hook. It used to be a long time ago that they were about the same size, maybe a millimeter or two difference. But something happened a couple years ago where I don't know necessarily if Mustad was sued by Eagle Claw, but they had to change their hook size. And it changed for me. It changed the number 10 hook, changed a bunch. The number 10 Mustad used to be the same size as an Eagle Claw, and recently, this about probably 6-7 months ago, I ordered some more number 10 hooks that were Mustad, and I'm like, why is the difference? Why is there such a big difference? And he said they had to change their measurements on the Mustad hooks because Eagle Claw didn't like that they were too much like theirs. But this is the part that I don't like doing, cleaning heads. I mean, I like making lures. I do, you know, this is probably the least favorite part. I don't want to say I hate it, because I don't hate it. I know it has to be done. I want to put a good product out there. I don't do many live streams while I'm cleaning heads. It's not as exciting to watch, but I have to get this order out tomorrow. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow too, guys. So there may not. I'm not going to have a morning live stream, so I may not be going live till maybe 11 or 12 o'clock. But I'm okay. I'm not sick or anything like that. I just they put me on some new medication, and they're wanting to see how everything's been going. This here again is a 1/64th with a number 8 hook. It's an Aberdeen hook. So these nippers have a flat end on it, and that's why I'm flipping it around. My wife get back on? We may go out for lunch later. Okay. Where's my bag at? So that's what these are. These are 1/8 ounce. No, 1/8 ounce. 1/64th ounce. And they're super small. So this person bought about 50 of these. So there's 50. There we go. Let me go put this in their box. Not back on. Okay, give me a quick drink here. Okay, let's get ready to pour some more heads. So I need a 1/16 ounce pill head. We're going to go to a number 4 hook. And then those, again, those here are the eagle claws. And we do have those on our website. And those are with the round hook. Yeah, these are a number, oh, these are number 4 hook, aren't they? Well, let me hold off on these. Let's go to the number 2 hook. I'm glad I caught that right now, because I don't want to be making jig heads with bait keepers on the wrong hook. So we will come back to those. Those will be the last thing I pour. Okay, here we go. So what I'm doing right now is I'm loosening up the hook because it's easier to deal with a smaller amount than it is to mess with a greater amount. Okay, so we're going to need the ones with the bait keeper. These do not have a bait keeper. I get asked all the time, why don't you do both sides at the same time? And with the number 2 hook, it just doesn't fit. And I don't need the ones without a bait keeper necessarily right now. I will be doing those later on, but I'll be doing them with a different size hook. Okay, so we need 1/16 ounce jig heads with bait keeper, or yeah, with the bait keeper. Okay, so we have those in here in place. We got our hooks here. These are what the number 2. These are going to be for people that fish with plastics. And I'm going to go up here real fast. Boom. Let's get up there a little bit higher. That way I could see everything. And I'll go ahead and zoom in. Screen was frozen. Oh, no. How would you make those slightly heavier? How would you make those slightly heavier so that you could cast them further? A bullet sinker. Yeah, you can use a split shot or something like that with them. Or if you're like me, I fish with 4-pound line, and I can cast a 1/64 pretty decent. I'm not going to cast it no 100 feet by any means, but you know, I mean, I could cast a 1/64 ounce, and a lot of times I use a double jig. I use a bigger jig on the bottom, and I use a smaller jig on the top. And that's for 2 different purposes. That sometimes you got the bigger bait on the bottom, you got the smaller bait on the top, and you can cast it out further that way. And it also allows them to have 2 different profiles to look at too. So there's a couple of different ways about doing it. Let's see. I just don't know if they make bullet sinkers that small. It's not a bullet sinker. Use a split shot sinker. That'll work a lot better. Camera has moved. Don't pour. I don't know what that means. What do I use to tie the fly? That's further up the line. Yes. Are you talking about when I'm doing a hand-tied lure? When I'm doing a hand-tied lure, I use fly tying thread. I'm using fly tying thread. I use the 210 denier. Ooh, that one didn't pour. Again, these are for plastics. I'll be doing some with without a collar on them. Some people call them collars, some people call them bait keepers. I wasn't clear. I was asking about the knot on the upper. Oh, I use a drop loop knot. I use a drop loop knot. That's what I use on the top knot. It suspends it to where it's hanging freely. It's not so close to the actual the main line, which allows the fish to be able to have enough room to bite it. Yeah, all you got to do is here, either Google it or here on YouTube, look for drop loop knot. The same would also be like a Kentucky rig for catfishing. That's the same type setup I'll use. Instead of a weight on the bottom, I'll use a jig on the bottom. Okay, that's what that looks like right there. Has a bait keeper on there. Yeah, it's drop, D-R-O-P, loop, L-O-O-P, knot, K-N-O-T. Now I'm spelling it for the people that may not know how to spell it. So my English isn't the greatest either too, so sometimes, and I speak English, that's all I speak. Sometimes people can't understand me that well. There we go. That has a bait keeper on there. We're going to break those off here in a few minutes. Oh, you're welcome. With the name you have, I'm surprised. No, I don't speak Spanish that well. I speak it non-fluently. My parents, when I was young, they speak Spanish. You know, they're not with us any longer, but they spoke Spanish very well. And I just didn't. They never taught us how to speak Spanish. Um, that was in a time to where the kids that spoke Spanish, a lot of times they had a harder time learning, you know, in school. So my parents went ahead and taught us and the kids, my brothers and sisters, that to speak English first. Now I understand it pretty good, but we were just never taught it, you know. My wife always wanted me to teach the kids Spanish, and I'm like, I don't even know Spanish. You know, I do not speak Spanish that well. When I'm trying to speak Spanish, what's going on in my head is I'm trying to, oh, how would I say, trying to make sense of it. And the Spanish language, sometimes words or sentences are presented in an opposite manner. kind of like this. If I say this, look, there's something on the table. And the same phrase in Spanish would be, on the table there was something. Take a look. You know, just that kind of difference there. There we go. That's what that looks like. Let's see, what is that? It's powder that makes it easier. Yep, for the mold. Yep. I could speak Mount, but it's hard for me to understand. Oh yeah. I mean, I understand it when someone's, in front of me talking Spanish. I can get, 85, 90, 100% of what they're saying. Um, I just can't speak it that well. Now, if I was in Texas with my family and they speak a lot of Spanish, um, I would probably catch on and become more fluent in it. But here in Oklahoma, I have no family members, and I don't have a lot of Hispanic friends up here. I have a few, but not that many. Don't speak, yeah. Yeah, I hear you. And I cannot read it worth a darn. That's why on the other app, and I'm not going to mention their name here, they have a button that I could press on somebody's comment and it'll translate it. Here on YouTube, I wish they would do that, because we get people in from different countries and stuff like that, and they may understand English, they just don't know how to text it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cut these loose. And how did we do this? How did we do this? Okay, so that's what that looks like right there. It'll get cleaned up before I paint them. This will get cleaned up a lot more. So I gotta have over 400 of these, which I think I'm close. I just don't know exactly, so I'm just going to fill up this 1 cup all the way. That way I'm pretty safe. Yeah, they have that feature on Facebook. Yeah, I don't go live there that often. It's just hard to get a lot of traffic in there. When I go live on Instagram, I'll get more people there. I go live on TikTok. Yesterday we had 1,400 people in the live stream yesterday on TikTok. But TikTok is so easy to report people and stuff. And if somebody doesn't like me, or if they're a competitor of ours, or they think I'm a competitor, I don't have any competitors. I choose to not go that route. Kind of leaves you. The only person I compete with is just myself and getting business out. Some of these people, they look at somebody like me as a competitor of theirs, and a lot of times that just creates envy and hatred and all kinds of stuff like that. So I don't mess with that a whole lot. But yeah, we had a lot of people on TikTok yesterday, and then all of a sudden it went from like 800 people down to like 200, and then it got to where had 80 or 90 people, and I knew what happened. And then I had this restriction on me that I had been guiding people outside TikTok, and I'm like, no, I didn't mention our website at one time or at all. But somebody can report that. Yeah, there's a lot of work in them. Yeah, and we're a small business, but we do everything. You know, my wife also works in the shop too at times, but we try to get out a really good product, and it is on a small scale. I can't compete with these big factories and stuff, and a lot of times the big factories, when it comes to quality control, they don't really they can't catch everything. So a lot of times people are getting packages of wonky hooks and hand tied lures that fall apart. So every lure that goes out, I do all the hand tying to them. I know it's extra work and stuff, and I'm probably never going to become a millionaire again or whatever, but just one of them things. I love doing what I do. I like putting out a good product. We got a lot of people out there that collect their lures. Some of them don't even fish. But I enjoy doing this, and it's to me it's fun. I look forward to coming in every day and make lures. Been a customer for about 2 months, and I've already caught a lot of fish. Oh, cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, that's I tried to I used to go on live every day at 9, through the weekdays. And I tried doing that too on Saturdays, and then on Sundays I tried going on like at 1 or 2. But it got to be where I just couldn't stay I couldn't I had to make my time more flexible, because there would be times that I would have a lot of orders the night. You go to sleep, you have 2 orders that came in through the website that you need to pack up. You wake up in the morning and there's like 7 orders. And so I just I couldn't be concrete with my airing time that I'd go on. So what I tried to do was, I try to go on sometime Monday through Friday, 7, somewhere between 7 and 9 o'clock in the morning. Now we do have a Discord, and I let everybody know in Discord that, you know, when I'm going live. Like tomorrow, I got a doctor's appointment, so I'll probably put on Discord either this evening or tomorrow morning. You know that I won't be going live first thing in the morning. So I try to notify people that. Um, but I try to put a couple of videos out. Uh, like on this one here, it's monetized. There's no music in the background. And so when this live stream is up, I can upload it to where it's part of my library. And then we get a lot of people that watch me that way. They may not catch me in the morning. They may be at work or whatever. And then when they get off work and they make their lures or whatever they're doing, they'll just, you know, they'll play the recap, you know, of the live stream that I did earlier. So anyway, yeah, I'm in Central Time Zone. Yep, I'm in Oklahoma. Yeah, we don't have the most expensive lure out there. I know some guys they they will charge $3 a lure. They'll charge $9 a pack for maybe three or four, you know, lures in there, and I don't do that. I do make money on them. I may not make as much as I probably need to, but I'm happy with what I do and what I make. So with our tackle stores, we haven't raised prices in a couple of years, and so I try to keep prices, you know, I try to keep them down. We are going to have a discount code this Tuesday. Tuesday's Veterans Day. We're going to do a one-day sale where we have a 10% off code. And the code's going to be VET10, VET10, no space in between. We used to have a lot of codes out there with people that fished with our products, but we weren't getting any return. We had probably 40 people out there with discount codes, and the only people that were using the codes were them. they weren't giving us any new customers or anything. So we did away with that. And so we'll bring certain codes for certain holidays and events and things like that. So yeah, we had about 40 codes out there, and I know some of them worked really hard to try to get us customers, but they just weren't giving us any customers. You know, so it made no sense to have discount codes or that many of them. In Thailand, we do the same thing, but by injecting rubber. Oh yeah, the silicone plastics. Yeah, yeah. I have friends of mine that do the same thing, but these are for plastics. These are for the plastic baits. We used to do plastics a long time ago, but I just figured, you know, let me just stick to what I'm best at, which is hand-tied lures. And at the time, we probably had about 8 to 10 different companies here in Oklahoma that made plastics, and it just didn't seem to make any sense. If I'm the best hand-tied jigger tire in Oklahoma, you know, why do something that I'm not the best at? You know, I do know that I'm probably the best hand-tied lure guy here in Oklahoma. we used to do it. My wife was pouring plastic, and then it just, I'm like, we don't have enough room in this little shop to do both too. That's another thing. Now, if we ever do build a building, um, you know, and it's big enough to do plastics, we may venture into that. Wonderful day. Oh yeah. Let's see. Yeah, they do. And that's another thing is that, you know, um, they do hold up a lot better than plastics do. Some of these little lakes and ponds, I'm realizing that they're kind of outlawing plastics. I'm getting some coffee here. They're starting to outlaw plastics in some of these city lakes, in some of these towns, and because they think it's you know, polluting the environment, and it's not that many of them, but it's a movement that may start. You know, it may start to grow, and we'll see how far some of these people take that. I wouldn't want to outlaw plastics. I mean, when I first started crappie fishing, that's what I fished with plastics. But these are for plastic baits. These are 1/16 ounce, and they're on a number 2 hook. I got to do some more with the swivel in them for the underspins, and I'm probably going to have to order some more swivels next week too. We already went through 1,000 of them. How many fish and countryside? We only have snakeheads, so we like rubber worms and yeah, rubber frogs, yeah. The plastics that they use that are found to be do they oh golly, let's see, use are touted to be durable. Yeah, they're expensive. Sometimes they're expensive. Invasive species, do they offer a bounty if you save the head? We don't have them here, as far as I know, in any lake here in Oklahoma. I had never caught one. Um, I've been fishing in some other states before, but I've never caught one. I hope they never come to Oklahoma. We're starting to get in Oklahoma that I guess what they call Asian carp, the ones that jump out of the water when you're in a boat. I hope we don't get those here too. I don't know if that's a southern thing, but I know here in Oklahoma, you know, the weather is a lot cooler. than it is in Florida. Yeah, that's what that looks like right there. Yeah, they are a hazard. So these will get cleaned up, they'll get painted up, and they'll get eyes on them. We will be putting eyes on these. For the conversation, Ruben. Time to go fishing. Well, good deal. I hope you get a bunch. I'm watching my old pastor right now on YouTube. He's a really good guy. Let's see. Hey there, Easton. What do I use as a releasing agent? I don't know what it's called. It's just a powder. You could probably Google it. But I have no clue at all what it is or what the brand is. It just came in a bag when I bought my spin cast machine, and it didn't have any name on the bag. It actually, the bag was in a box and it said fruit on it, so it was some kind of a fruit box that somebody rebagged, or just, you know, the original box probably got destroyed or whatever. And but I have no clue at all what it is. I don't know what the exact term is on there. I get a lot of people asking. I wish I knew. Now I've heard it called powder resin. When I try to look it up, it'll say powdered resin. Uh, it'll have a couple of different terms on it, and from what I gather from me and then one of the mods that we used to have, he had said that they make it in Italy. So, um, you know, I don't know too much about it. I know I filled up this thing probably, I don't know, 6 months ago, and we still got, I don't know, probably a tenth of it left in there. We've had a few people make offers to buy a bag from me, and I still have maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 pounds left, 3 pounds. But I'm not going to sell it because it's something that I can't get, you know. I don't know where to get it from. I've been looking to see where I can get it from, but I haven't been able to find anybody that sells it to the public. What I need to do is probably call the people that make the centrifuge caster and see where they get theirs from, or see if they can give me some more info on it. Because we were using it on our spin cast machine. I was looking at spin cast machines last night. I could buy a used one for about $3,000. I want to try to get a new one. But I have no info on it right now as far as where to get that stuff at. It spins really fast, and the mold is round. And when it spins really fast, you pour your lead down the middle in this tube or this funnel, and it sprays the lead out. And I'm able to pour, instead of just 5 of these at a time, I'm able to pour 2 dozen to 3 dozen at a time. So that's what it does. Yeah, here's a mold. This is a 12-inch mold, and it's a 1/8 ounce minnow head, and so it spins around really fast. And you have it in this. You put it in a metal plate that will kind of secure this tightly, and it spins really fast. And then on the top of the spin cast machine, you have that spout. You pour it down the spout, and it shoots off, and then you pull all your lures out and clip them off. So that's what it does. thought he was talking about a reel too. Spin cast, yeah. I mean, I like fish with spin cast reels, but a spin caster is a machine that I use for lead pouring. That's what I use to pour my lead. They're also called a centrifuge casting system. But now it'd be nice to have a spin cast machine and a vulcanizer where I could make molds. That would be nice too. Yeah, if we ever get into a bigger building, I mean, where I was talking to my wife about it, spin cast machine, I'd like to get one. I just don't know if it would be worth it right now at this time. I mean, it would help us a little bit, but what I'm doing right now, I could do just a little bit faster if I had the spin cast machine. And part of that has to do with spacing and all that. We just don't have the table room. When I used to do it, I would pour and basically pour a bunch at a time, and all the lead would be, you know, would be all stood up. And well, how would I say, all the jig heads while they were still on the wheel, basically on the mold, you pull them out, it looks like it's on a spoked wheel. And I would stack them up and then clip them off after I got done pouring. But I mean, it's something we may pursue. Our biggest thing right now is just the space. We don't have that much space here in the shop. Yeah, the vulcanizer is a machine that you take soft silicone, and that's real spongy and soft, and you build your mold by putting like jig heads that are all cleaned and pretty pristine and all that. You put them in the circle. You basically, you get your silicone piece. It's all nice and soft and spongy, and then you basically draw, and you got a template. You draw a circle around it, and you got to cut that out, and then you got to place your jigs, your originals, I guess you want to call them that. You place them all down in a circle, and what you end up doing is you don't have to cut your spots. Let me pull one. Let me pull a different mold out. I always pull out that minnow head. Let me see what other molds I have down here. Okay, so when you have your silicone there, this top part is all nice and soft, and this one here is a round jig head with a bait keeper. So that's what this one is. And anyway, you draw yourself. You got a template, and you basically draw this outline there, and then you position all your hooks to go around in a circle. Your jig heads like this, and imagine this not having any indentions on it. And then you put your jig heads in there, and then not only that, this one here has pins in it to where you're putting your hooks. The ones with the pins are really nice. And then once you get all your hooks laid around a circle, you put your top piece on there. And again, The white piece is a lot softer and spongier. And then once you put it in the vulcanizer, it'll compress, but it'll also harden. And so once you take it out of the vulcanizer, you have basically a bunch of jig heads that are punched in there, and you pull all your jig heads out of it, and then you start taking a razor knife, and you got these special tools that you do to carve your little inserts in. And then so when this spins around, you want to make those inserts big enough to where it shoots out evenly. This mold here cost at the time, I think it was about 400 bucks for this mold. And this is a 1/16 ounce round head with the number 2 hook on there. So we got about, I think, 200, 250 of those laying around here. And so anyway, that's what the vulcanizer does. It'll compress your mold. It's for basically making spin cast molds. They're pretty cool. I've only seen one of them in person, but I see them all the time, you know, here on YouTube and some of these other apps that have people that make fish making products, fishing stuff. But those blanks could run anywhere, just the blank piece of silicone, they could run anywhere from 20 to 40 bucks a piece. And then what you do basically is you make a mold and you can sell it for, you know, 100 bucks or 300 bucks. All the molds that we've bought for $100, they are now nowhere as good as the ones that cost 300 and 400 bucks a piece. And I don't know if that's just because of the experience of the people that make them or the material that's in it, but those $300-400 molds, man, they're you know, they make a really clean jig head. One of the guys that used to make some of our molds, he ended up closing down a little bit after COVID, after the stuff, after people were able to go back to work. He ended up closing down. He's not making any more molds. But a lot of times if you want a mold made, you can take like they'll have like their plain stuff that they do, like a 16th ounce round head with the number 4 hook. They'll have those. A lot of times they'll have all those molds, you know, pre-made, and they'll just ship them out. But if you're wanting a specialty, like a 1/16 ounce with like maybe a number 1 hook, you just send them the original jig heads, and what they'll do is they'll make them off of whatever jig head you have in stock. Like we have some of them that are made with a bait keeper and a pill head. It'll speed up the process. I just don't know if we can. I mean, I'd like to have one, but they're so expensive. We've had people offer to buy the molds because our spin cast machine broke, and I don't want to sell them. I do want to get a new spin caster. I just want to make sure we got enough money in the bank that's disposable income, I guess you want to put it that way. Okay, I'm going to take a little break, guys. I've been on here for, it says an hour and a half. Have I been on here an hour? I've been on here like 2 hours and a half, I think. I don't know how long I've been on here. The vulcanizer, yeah, that's really cool. Okay, guys, we'll see you guys here shortly. I'm going to take a little break, so I'm going to get up, go refill my coffee, and I should be back sometime, maybe in the next hour or two. So I look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you again for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later. Thank you. Bye-bye.